Hi, welcome back. This is Miss Best coming to you today with a video on how to find zeros or solutions by factoring. So before break, you guys learned how to factor quadratics. Our first example, we had the quadratic m squared plus 6m minus 16. All right. And we're going to factor this and then find the zeros. All right, so if your problem is not, if your quadratic equation is not already set equal to 0, then go ahead and do so. Okay, and then you're going to factor. Okay. All right, remember our saying, we said if it ends in a plus, that means the same sign. Since this ends in a minus, we will have different signs. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and set up our parentheses. M will go in the first spots, and since it ends in a minus, we're going to have a plus and a minus. All right, so now we need to find factors of 16, negative 16, that also combine to be 6. Okay, factors of 16 are 8 and 2. All right, and the larger number goes with the first sign, so that would be a positive 8 and a negative 2. All right, so 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and 8 plus a negative 2 is 6. All right, so 8 goes here, 2 goes here. All right, so that's the basic factoring. So now we need to take each factor. This is one factor, and this is the other factor. We're going to take each factor and set them equal to 0. Okay, and then we're going to solve for x. All right, so I'm going to take m plus 8, set it equal to 0, and solve for m. So to solve for m, I just need to subtract 8 from both sides, and m equals negative 8. All right, then I'm going to take m minus 2. M minus 2 equals 0. Okay, all I need to do to solve for m is add 2 to both sides, and m equals 2. All right, so now we have found our zeros. One of our zeros is negative 8, and the other one is 2. All right. Let's try another example. So basically the only difference here from factoring is that you just, at the end, you take your factors and set them equal to 0 and solve for the variable. And that's it. You solve the equation. All right, so our next example, we have 5m squared minus 6m minus 8, and we're going to set that equal to 0. All right, so now I have a leading coefficient here, which is 5. So that means that I'm either going to have to factor it out, meaning divide by it, or I'm going to have to do bottoms up, where I take this number and multiply it with the last number. Now, since 5 will not go into 6 and 8 evenly, I'm just going to go ahead and do bottoms up. So I'm going to multiply 5 times negative 8, and I get m squared minus 6m minus 40. All right, and then I need to factor. Okay, m will go in the front places, and this quadratic equation ends in a minus, so I'm going to use different signs. I'm going to have a plus and a minus, and then I need factors of 40 that combine, negative 40 that combine to be negative 6. All right, so factors of 40 are 10 and 4. And because the first sign is a negative sign, our 10 has to be negative and the 4 has to be positive. So negative 10 times 4 is negative 40. Negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. So our 4 goes here, 10 goes here. All right, so because we multiplied that first, the leading coefficient with the constant, we have to go back and divide by it. So we're going to divide both factors by 5. So now I have m plus 4 over 5 and m minus 2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2. Now usually when we do bottoms up, when we're just factoring, we take the bottom, the denominator, and move it up to the front. But since we are solving, finding zeros, we don't have to do that. That would just give us an extra step. So we're going to keep our factor like this, m plus 4 over 5, and set it equal to 0. m plus 4 over 5 equals 0. Alright, so all I need to do is subtract 4 over 5 from both sides. And m equals negative 4 over 5. And if you haven't noticed, the zeros always turn out to be the opposite of what's inside the parentheses. So inside the parentheses we had 4 over 5, and the 0 turns out to be its opposite, which is negative 4 over 5. So you don't even have to do this. Once you get the hang of it, you can just take the opposite of this term and have negative and get the 0. So then we have m minus 2 equals 0. All I have to do is add 2 to both sides, and m equals a positive 2. So our zeros are negative 4 over 5 and a positive 2. Alright, so now you can use your calculator to check your answers. Alright, I'm going to plug in my quadratic, which is 5. Instead of m, I'm going to use x. Remember, our calculator likes x, no other letters. So 5x squared minus 6x, and then minus 8. And then I'm going to go to second table set because I want to plug in my answers that I got. So I'm going to change this independent to ask, and then I'm going to go to my table. Alright, so I need to plug in negative 4 over 5. If I get 0 for y, that means that my answer is correct. Alright, so I get 0, so that's right. And then I need to plug in 2, and I should get 0 again. Alright, and that's it. So if you have any questions after watching the video, just come and see me. And if you need to rewatch it, please do so. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.